Being safe on the work site is all about thinking and paying attention to what you're doing. Looking out for others is how we can all get home in one piece at the end of the day.
And no matter who you work for, we all need to be following the same safety rules. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes.
So let's start with what you'll be wearing. You've got to be properly dressed at the work site.
At a minimum, that means hard hat, long pants, heavy-duty work boots with a non-skid sole, a shirt with sleeves, a safety vest or bright colored shirt, and eye protection. Check your hard hat to make sure that it's in good condition. If there's tears in the suspension or holes in it, you'll need a new one.
During the course of a normal workday, you may be exposed to different types of eye hazards, including flying particles, sparks, or chemical splashes. You need to be wearing eye protection at all times. That means safety glasses, goggles, a full face shield, or a combination of the three. There are lots of jobs that require you to be wearing a full face shield over your safety glasses or goggles. And if you're cutting or welding, you'll need to have special eye protection.
Hearing protection is essential to protect you from noise. If it's hard to hear a person 3 feet away without them yelling, you need hearing protection. There are 2 types of hearing protections available: earplugs and earmuffs. In some cases, you may need to wear both.
You never get used to the loud noise. If you continue to be exposed to it, it can cause permanent damage to your hearing.
You also need the right kind of work gloves. Heavy-duty gloves will protect against rough or sharp edges, abrasive surfaces, and splinters. A lot of people don't realize that wet concrete can hurt your skin. It can cause serious burns and skin irritations, so you need to wear rubber gloves when working with concrete. And also be sure that you've got rubber boots on. If your hands or any part of your skin comes into contact with wet concrete, you need to wash the area immediately. And if you're doing anything with acids, corrosives, or solvents, you really need to be wearing the right kind of gloves.
It's a good idea to remove rings or other kind of jewelry that can catch on a corner and cause an injury. And if you're wearing a chain around your neck, it needs to be under your shirt. And if you've got long hair, it needs to be up under your hard hat. Both these things so you don't get caught in any revolving equipment.
There's a lot of heavy equipment in use on our projects, all with different hazards. Your safety vest or shirt helps make you visible to equipment operators. And no matter where you are, pay attention to your surroundings. Getting hit by a piece of equipment or a crane load is one of the leading causes of construction site fatalities.
You're required to attend weekly toolbox talks to discuss safety on the job. This toolbox talk is for you. If you have a question or a comment about safety, the toolbox talk is a great time to bring it up.
One other thing you need to be aware of is our drug and alcohol policy. It's pretty simple. We don't want you working while you're under the influence of drugs and alcohol. It's dangerous for you, and it's dangerous for everybody around you. There are times when a company might require you to take a drug or alcohol test. If you're injured or involved in some kind of accident, you will be required to take a test. It's not optional. It's on company time, and it's required.
If you test positive or refuse to take a test, you will be subject to disciplinary action, up to and including discharge.
And just so we're clear, there's no weapons of any kind permitted on the job site.
The Project Crisis and Emergency Response Plan tells you what to do if there's an emergency such as a natural disaster, a fire, a hazardous material spill, or some other kind of incident. The people who have incident commander or emergency coordinator vests are not only there to assist in the event of a crisis, but also to help answer questions or report potential hazards, quality issues, or near misses.
Other than police or other emergency personnel, they are the only people who should be giving you directions during an emergency. Don't start doing things unless you're told by a person with one of those vests on.
All injuries need to be reported. That way we can make sure and get you all the help that you need.
Likewise, if you have a near miss, that needs to be reported so we can learn from it and keep it from happening again.
There's a lot of tasks that require you to be wearing a respirator. You've got to know the materials you're working with and make sure you have the right respirator for the job. Respirators will protect you from overexposure to dust, mist, and fumes and must be matched for the exposure. If you're not sure what type of respirator is needed for the task, have your foreman contact the safety department for assistance.
The most common respirator you will use is a dust mask. Regardless of the type of respirator you use, the mask has to have a good seal around the face. This is accomplished by being clean shaven, using both head straps and adjusting the nose piece to fit your nose. And if you're near an operation where workers are wearing respirators, you may also need to be protected.
Nearly 1,000 construction workers are killed each year on the job. That's more than 3 workers every day, and about a third of those are because of falls. All of those can and should be prevented. Any place that there's a potential fall of more than 6 feet, you need to be protected. It doesn't matter if it's an opening in the floor or around the outside of a building. The most common type of fall protection is a guardrail. Guardrails need to be constructed of either wood or wire rope and have a top rail that's 42 inches off the ground, a mid-rail, and a toe board. If you remove a guardrail, alternate fall protection must be used, and never leave an area unprotected for any period of time. You must reinstall the guardrail before you leave the area. If you're working at an elevation where guardrails don't provide enough protection, such as off a ladder near an open-sided floor, you also need to wear fall protection gear.
Another common form of fall protection is a personal fall arrest system. This includes a harness, a lanyard or retractable lifeline, and an attachment point. You've got to inspect your harness daily for cuts, tears, and frayed straps. Buckles, snap hooks, and safety latches all need to be looked at any time you put on a harness. If anything is broken or damaged, don't use it. Give it to your foreman so that nobody else uses it either.
To put on a fall protection harness, start by securing your waist buckle, then the chest buckle, next the 2 leg buckles, and finally, recheck everything to make sure that they're tight.
The most important part of a fall arrest system is the attachment point. The general rule of thumb is that the anchorage point must be capable of supporting twice the maximum load. Most fall protection manufacturers say that means at least 3,600 pounds. If you're not sure if the anchorage point can hold that much, ask your foreman. Always try to tie off above your head and make sure you limit your fall to no more than 6 feet.
When you're climbing a wall or column, you either need to use a retractable lifeline or utilize a double tie-off. The retractable lifeline, some people call it a yo-yo, will generally be attached to the upper part of the wall or scaffold, so all you have to do is attach it to your harness and start climbing.
And when you're done, remember to attach the lifeline to the base of the column so it will be there for the next person to use. If you don't have a retractable lifeline, then you need to use the double tie-off method. To do that, you need 2 lanyards.
If you're climbing a form using 2 lanyards, you start by tying off as high as possible with the first one. Climb until that tie-off point is waist high, then take the second lanyard and tie off again as high as you can before unhooking the one at your waist. Climb again until the tie-off point is waist high and continue the process until you reach your work area. And then reverse the process to come back down.
And finally, controlled access zones or warning lines and barricades are used to prevent people from coming near a fall hazard. You need to be using fall protection when you're inside the unprotected area.
Before you use a ladder, inspect it to make sure it doesn't have any broken rungs or cracked or split side pieces. If it does, don't use it. Take it out of service. Before you start climbing, check to make sure that the ladder is set on a sound base and the side braces are locked. And don't ever use the top 2 steps to stand on. If you're on an extension ladder, then the ladder hooks need to be properly set and the ladder has to be tied off. When you're climbing, always use both hands. Tools or materials need to be pulled up in a bucket or by a rope. It's the safest way to go up and down a ladder, and you'll always have at least one hand on the ladder. And be sure to face the rungs or steps when you're working off or climbing up or down a ladder.
There are lots of holes on a job site. They may be a few inches in diameter to several feet across. You gotta make sure they're marked and covered properly. Otherwise, it's a serious safety hazard. Building a proper hole cover is only half the job. You've gotta make sure it's secure, that it won't move, and that it's marked clearly.
A lot of jobs will require you to work on a scaffold.
You need to inspect it yourself. Make sure that it's on a solid footing and that it's level. And if it's more than 2 sections high, it needs to be tied off. And then the other thing that you really want to be sure of is whether the planking and supports are in good condition and the boards are secure.
And make sure guardrails are in place on any open sides and that there are cross braces. Delivering a quality project really takes a team effort. Every single part of the building is important. The quality of the concrete core that you may be working on today impacts the quality that occurs later on, such as flooring, millwork, and equipment installation.
Just about every project that you work on is going to have a series of mock-ups constructed. There may be a 3D computer model that we'll use in our